Right, this is video 1.4 for Algebra 2. Today we are simplifying algebraic expressions. None of this should be new. All of it should be review. Hopefully you're pretty good at all of it since you've had experience doing Algebra 1 and during geometry. So the first thing you're going to be able to do is to translate words into algebraic expressions. Remember that there are keywords in the sentence that will let you know what needs to be done. So if it says something like combine, you're going to add. So it might be like how many total. Or if you want to combine into equal groups, that's like multiply. It might say how many all together. If you're wanting to separate apart or say less than, then that would be subtract. So like how many more or how many are remaining. And then if they need to be in equal groups, that would be like a divide, how many in each group. All right, so let's practice a couple. So we're going to write an algebraic expression to represent each situation. The first one is we want to know the distance remaining for a runner after m miles of a 26.2 mile marathon. So the keyword here is going to be remaining. So if you've run m miles out of this many, then it's going to be a subtraction. So my question to you then, would it be m minus 26.2 or 26.2 minus m? So if this is the total that you have to run and you've run this many, then you're going to do your total minus how many you've done. So this would be the correct answer, not that one. How about this one? A number of, oh, that should say hours, not house. Hours it takes to fly 1,800 miles at an average rate of n miles per hour. So if you are flying 1,800 miles and you're going to take it in n miles per hour, then what you're doing is you are breaking those 1,800 miles up into equal groups. Okay, so that would be your average rate is the important thing there. So the number of hours it would take to fly 1,800 miles, if we're breaking it into equal groups, then we would divide it by, we would do the 1,800 divided by n miles per hour. All right. So also evaluating algebraic expressions. So in this case, we are going to be given the value of the variable and you'll substitute it in. Keep in mind on the next couple sections that you want to keep in mind PEMDAS. So you got to work from your parentheses, then your exponents, then you multiply and divide from left to right, and then add and subtract from left to right. And a parentheses or a bracket, a division sign, if you're given something that's a whole bunch of stuff on top and then a division sign and then stuff on the bottom, you've got to solve those separately because that would be a dividing bracket like a parentheses. So let's evaluate this expression here. If x is equal to 4 and y is equal to 7, so I'm going to rewrite it and I'm going to put 4 in place of x and 7 in place of y and then use PEMDAS to evaluate. So this would be 4 plus 3 times 4 times 7 minus 2 times 7. So now I'm going to need to multiply first. So I need to multiply these and multiply these before I add. So that would be 12 times 7, which is 84. So it would be 4 plus 84 minus 14. Now, you're going to do your 4 plus your 84, which would be 88, minus 14, which is 74. Right, so let's do this one. For b equals 6 and z equals 2, so I'm going to substitute. So I'll do 6 squared times 2 minus 2 times 6 times 2 plus 2 squared. So here I need to do my exponents before I do my multiplying. So I'm going to solve this one first and that one. So 6 squared will be 36, so it will be 36 times 2 minus, I'm not going to add and subtract these, but I can go ahead and multiply these across. 6 times 2 is 12, times 2 is 24, and then 2 squared is 4, so I'll do plus 4. All right, so 36 times 2 is 72 minus 24 plus 4 gives us 52. Simplifying expressions, basically the same way. What you've got to keep in mind, remember that combining like terms. So in order for you to combine things, they need to have the same variable raised to the same exponent in order for them to be considered like terms where you can combine them together. So in this case, our x squared, I'm going to box it. That's 5x is not an x squared. 2y is not an x squared. 7x squared is an x squared. So I can take my 1 that's in front of my x squared plus my 7x squared and get 8x squared. And then my 5x is different from my 2y. So I cannot combine them. I'm just going to add them on onto the back. So that is as simplified as it can get. All right, the next one, still needing to do PEMDAS. So here we are going to distribute our b to this first set and to our second term. So the coefficient stays out in front. My b will not multiply by my a, so my a squared stays the same. The b just goes on the back. My 2 stays the same. My a stays the same. My b goes on the back. Now minus 11a squared b plus 2ab. So I have a negative 11a squared b and a positive 5a squared b. I can combine those and get a negative 6a squared b. I have a negative 2ab and a positive 2ab. Negative 2 plus 2 is 0, so that will not be carried down to my final answer. That is simplified. So hopefully that was just a quick review of things that you've gotten pretty good at since you were in algebra already and been a year in geometry. So have a good evening, and I will see you later.